Welcome back to Tiny Track Cars and another case unboxing and race. In the 2024 M case for you today. As we go through these cars, I want you to pick out your favorite and root for it to the end. Let's go ahead and unbox it. We'll get right to the racing. Well, it's unboxed. Let's open them up. Well, before we show you the cars in this M case, we're going to take a look at our new track layout here. It starts on our 6th lane. We have a drag race to the huge merge into the banked 90-degree left-hand turn. Down the ramp onto my desk, across my desk and my monitors to another 90-degree turn. And then it's a drag race from here to the finish, and we do have one section right there who is missing the side rails, and you do have a chance of falling off to add a layer of complexity to this track. Let's go ahead and take a look at the track and then head over to our cars. Alright, we have 48 unique castings in this 2024 M case. I want you to go ahead and pick your favorite car and drop the name of that car in the comments. The car you see here, pick your favorite and let us know and root that car onto the end. If it gets eliminated, I'm sorry, pick a different car and root that one on to the end. So here's the format for racing. We have 8 groups of 6 and 2 cars move on in this first round from every single group. First group is out of there, down into the turn they go. The Diora 2 out front, followed by the Quick Bite, taking the win and moving on to the next round. The 180SX, the Jaguar F-Type, the Trans Am, and the Hot Wheels High will go home packing. That's a smooth run from that Diora 2, and surprisingly that Quick Bite did extremely well and stuck it on the track. Again, 2 cars will move on from the next round. We'll go ahead and take the winners, the Diora 2 and the Quick Bite, back to the bracket and put them on the leaderboard. They will be racing again for the next round. Let's go ahead and meet the next group of 6 cars stacked at the start line. In this group, we have a mixture of fantasy and licensed cars, and I'm rooting for lane number 2, that Orange Revenger. That car just looks sweet even though it's a fantasy car, and it is out front, and it takes the win in reverse, followed by the Bugatti Chiron. Those two will move on. The F-150 Lightning will go home, that Dodge Dart will go home, the Ford Express will go home, and that Doom Buggy looking thing in the back hardly even made it down the track to the finish line. A little contact between the 2 leaders at the finish line there. That is where you can get bonus points that don't actually exist or count for anything. Bounce off that finish line stopper and come back and stop your opponents from crossing the finish line, and you get 1 bonus point that goes towards nothing. But keep the track of those bonus points in your head, because who knows, one day we might just do something with them. Next group of 6 at the start line. Again, we have a mixture of fantasy and licensed cars. Lane number 3, the Boom car was looking good, but he flipped upside down. He's out of the Batmobile out front, followed by a casting I've never seen before, the Sushi Tuner. Apparently it's a piece of sushi on rice racing down the track. There you can see the Boom car that's getting hit around. Poor little guy getting bumped around by all those big trucks. He flies upside down. He's out of it there. That's GMC Cyclone comes in and hits the cars. He's angry. He lost. He's going home. Sushi Tuner and the Batmobile moving on. Dodge Ram is going home. Hope you didn't pick the Dodge Ram. There's the Boom car and the Silverado there stuck in the last 90-degree turn. Both of those cars will go home. We got a nice blue Batmobile. Imagine that, a Batmobile in a Hot Wheels basic case. Next group of 6 at the start line, and I'm rooting for lane number 4, Max Steel at number 29 car. Let's see if he's got what it takes to move on. They're out of there. The Terra Tractor out there early, but the 5 Alarm squeaks ahead just by a little bit, and there's a tight battle between the 5 Alarm and the Terra Tractor. Both of those cars will move on. Unfortunately, my Max Steel goes home, even though I believe he just got 3rd place, even though he was way back there. There's a contact between that Tacoma and that Stingray Corvette. They get hung up and will be eliminated. The 5 Alarm in blue and the Terra Tractor in blue as well. Is the 5 Alarm a candidacy? It's a fire truck, but I mean, it's called the 5 Alarm. It's not like the Ford fire truck. I'm gonna call it a fantasy. 5 Alarm moves on. Terra Tractor moves on. Folks, we have a bunch of fantasy cars here moving on. And then we got the next group, and I'm rooting for the GR86 Toyota in lane number 5. That thing is sweet. It's a cup car. I used to drive that car in iRacing. It's a super fun car to drive. They are out of there. The motorcycle stays at the finish start line. Doesn't go very far. The Dodge Viper takes the win, and And the Cadillac Project GPT takes second place and moves on. Watch this 1970 Hot Wheels art car Dodge Charger there. He gets up on the side of the curb and he holds up the pack. Again, he spins around. That Cadillac gets by him and moves on to the next round with the yellow Dodge Viper. And high hopes for that Lotus open wheel car, but he did not do very good. He barely made it across the finish line. All right, those two hit the leaderboards there. Going into the next round, we have more licensed cars, which is great. That's what we like to see. Here's a bunch more fantasy cars. We do have a Honda Civic, an RX-7, and some Ford GT thing at the end there. They're out of there. The Civic was looking good, but he looks like he hit a bump and slowed down, and the Rapid Pulse takes the win. And who takes second? Was it the RX-7? I believe the RX-7, the police livery, takes second place. That Merc wasn't doing so good. He fell back. The Hot Wheels Piranha car also not doing good. That short wheelbase is no good for this wide track. The rapid response, I think it's a rapid response, rapid pulse response, pulse rapid pulse. Yes, confirmed, it's the rapid pulse. It says it right there on the side. Silly me, what was I thinking? It was going so fast I couldn't even see the name on the side of the car. Rapid pulse moves on, along with that police livery RX-7, and we head to the start line for the next group. We have an Audi, a Volkswagen, a motorcycle that's not going to go anywhere, a Pagani Utopia, a funny car, and a Formula E Gen 3, which is a super cool casting that I got a bunch of, but it doesn't look like it's doing too hot. The Pagani Utopia out front early, and then the RS2 Audi taking second place. Two licensed cars moving on. That's what we like to see, folks. Look at that drag race for that first 90-degree turn. The Audi spins around and gets bumped by somebody else, but he was able to recover, cross the finish line in reverse in second place, followed by the Formula 3 Gen E, Gen C, I don't know. Formula 3 Gen, I don't know. There's a Formula, and there's an E, and there's a Gen, and there's a 3. I don't know what order they're in, but it's all on the bottom of the car. All right, the last group. We have the Maverick, you have a Diora 3, a tuned Nissan, a Flippin' Fast, a BMW, and a Drift and Brake. Diora 3 way out in front, followed by the BMW. Wow, that Diora 3 is fast. We're going to slow it down for you and watch that again. Watch that Diora 3. He does get hit in the side. He spins around, throws it in reverse, and takes off to the finish line. Another fantasy car joins the top 16 and moves on to the next round, followed by that BMW M3. We had a little bit of a traffic jam here over in the last 90-degree turn between the Maverick, the Drift and Brake. That's not a Drift and Brake. That, my friends, is a limited grip. It's a drift car, drift truck. All right, BMW going to the leaderboard. All right, now we have 16 cars on the leaderboards there. We're gonna narrow these 16 down to 8. This is gonna be groups of 4, and 2 cars from each group will be moving on. So 2 of these cars, between the Quick Bite, the Diora, the Bugatti, and that orange Revenger at the end. 3, 2, 1, go. They're out of there. The Diora out front early, but into the turn they go. The Diora is still out front. The Diora slides sideways. The Revenger gets by, but hits the track. Who gets first place? First place was the Diora. That was a cluster if I ever saw one at the finish line. Let's take a closer look at that for you and slow it down. The Diora slides sideways. The Revenger tries to get around him, but clips the side of the track. He gets first place, and the Diora barely, by inches, rolls across the finish line in front of that Quick Bite, and unfortunately one of my favorite cars in this competition, the Bugatti, will go home packing. These 2 cars move on. They'll be in the final 8 and battling for the final 6. In the final 6, we'll run all 6 cars at once, and the final 6 are whoever wins 2 races, not in a row, but whoever wins the first 2 races. Whoever wins 2 races first will win this competition overall. The Batmobile out early. He spins around. That Pterodactyl right behind him, showing the speed, and holy cannoli, they both get a bonus point for knocking out the Sushi Tuner. They bounced so far back off that stop at the end of the track, they went up the track, up a hill, and ran into the Sushi Tuner. Let's see who actually is awarded that point. It looks like it might be the Batmobile that gets the point for stopping that. 5 Alarm and the Sushi Tuner will go home. The Batmobile and the Pterodactyl, both pretty blue cars, will move on to the next round. We got Fantasy. Holy cannoli, are any licensed cars going to join? We have a Viper, a Cadillac, an RX-7, and a Rapid Pulse. who's going to take the win in this round and move on. 3, 2, 1, go. They're out of there. Dodge Viper out there early. Rapid Pulse bumps into the side of the Viper. Rapid Pulse moves on. Dodge Viper moves on. RX-7 and Cadillac Project GPT go home. We'll slow it down for you here and take a closer look. Folks, for these, we're running the race in full speed. So that's something you don't usually see in this channel, but the original race is full speed and the replay is slowed down to half speed, so you can take a closer look at the action. As you can see, these cars are super fast. It's me running around the room with my camera, trying to track these cars as best as possible. They are fast and they are furious. We have one licensed car that joins a group of fantasies. This one we have an Audi RS2, the Pagani Utopia, a BMW M3, and a Diora 3. Which one of these ones move on? I like all these cars. Who will take the win? The Diora 3 and the Pagani out front early. Can they hold on to it? Yes! The Pagani flies off the track, but not before crossing the finish line and moving on to the final 6 with the Diora 3. A Diora 3 is just a smooth, fast car. It has a chance at winning this whole thing, and folks, but it is anyone's game because in this open track racing, anything can happen. Anyone can bump into anybody. Anyone can spin, flip off the side. Who knows what can happen? All right, when I was announcing the format of this race, I realized that I skipped the round completely. This round number 3, to get our final 6, we're going from 8 cars to 6 cars. So we're gonna have 2 groups of 4, and 3 of the cars move on to the final 6. The Batmobile moves on, Pterotractyl moves on, and the Diora 2 barely makes it across the finish line, but more importantly, watch this Revenger. He gets bumped up on top of the Batmobile and chucked off the track, free-falling to a death that is probably terrible and fiery and ugly. Ew! Alright, the Batmobile wins it, Pterotractyl moves on, Diora 2 moves on as well. We forgot to get him. We will come back and get him and throw him on this board in just a second here. And then we'll figure out where the Revenger went and see if he's okay. He won't be racing anymore, but we want to make sure that car is good and his axles are straight. There he is down on the ground next to that beautiful track support by Spool Heads Racing. Folks, if you like this track, other than the orange track you see here, which is made by Hot Wheels, check out spoolheads.com for this custom 3D printed Hot Wheels track. Rusty Spoolheads can do any design you want and is literally revolutionizing the Hot Wheels diecast racing community because of his designs and the ability to make anything humanly possible come to life. So check him out at spoolheads.com. We missed that race. The Rapid Pulse was out front. The Pagani Utopia takes second place. The Viper decides he didn't want to compete anymore. He slides sideways, takes last place. Rapid Pulse moves on. Pagani Utopia moves on. And the Diora 3 moves on after passing the Viper in the last straightaway. All right, folks, this is the final 6. We'll rack them up, and it's the first one to win 2 races. Not 2 in a row, just the first one to win 2 races. Folks, if you picked any of these cars, let me know in the comments. We have one licensed car, which is the Pagani Utopia. I'm rooting for that sucker. Amongst a bunch of fantasy cars, the Pterotractyl, the Batmobile, Diora, and Rapid Pulse. Batmobile out front early, but the Pterotractyl passes last minute and takes the win in race number 1 of the finals here. Again, if he wins the next one, he will be the champion of this, but it's anyone's game. Look how fast that Batmobile was, which got hit in the last turn, and the Pterotractyl squeezed by right at the last minute. And folks, that Rapid Pulse was right in his tail as well. Again, this is anyone's game. Anything can happen. That merge section will make or break your run. All right, race number 2. We switch lanes. Lanes are random here, randomized. I'm dropping them in random lanes, no rhyme or reason behind it. They're out there. The Pagani Utopia cuts everybody off and takes the win by a mile. That car is fast, folks. Woo! Then the Rapid Pulse comes trickling across the finish line. Let's slow it down for you and take a closer look. Watch this drag race emerge. Pagani out front early, but the Batmobile right next to him. The Batmobile slides sideways and blocks the rest of the pack. The Pagani takes the win and takes 1 win with the Pterotractyl. If either of those cars win the next race, they will be crowned the winner. If someone else wins, we'll keep racing until someone wins 2 races. With the Rapid Pulse in the pole position, there's no pole position, this is a drag race. They're all treated equally. They're all, no pole, they're all in the pole position. All right, 3, 2, 1, they're out of there. Pterodactyl off and early. Will Pterodactyl take it? The Batmobile is, oh, Diora 3 comes out of nowhere, but the Batmobile in reverse, in the last straightaway, takes the win. Now we have 1 win for the Pterodactyl, 1 win for the Utopia, and 1 win for the Batmobile. Let's slow it down for you again right here and watch that. Diora spins sideways, the Batmobile throws in reverse. Diora tries to smash into him and stop him from going by, but the Batmobile takes the win. All right, folks, race number 4 of the finals. Will one of our drivers that has three wins, 1 win this one, or will someone new win? And do we keep racing? We shall find out right now. 3, 2, 1, go. They're out of there for race number 4. Pterodactyl off on early. Pterodactyl in reverse. The Batmobile spins out and gives the win to the Pterodactyl, which has just became our 2024 M-Case race winner. And folks, we've seen that Pterodactyl do good in our open track before. I believe it was in the finals or did win. That is a solid casting for the track, even though it's a fantasy. It's got those big wheels in the back and it rolls good. Pterodactyl, folks, is our 2024 M-Case winner. Thank you so much for watching Tiny Track Cars. I really appreciate you being here. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe, hit that like button to tell the algorithm that my videos are decent, and I really appreciate you guys, and we'll see you in the next one.